Well, hello, unlimited wisdom, daily wisdom, unlimited. Well, what? Yeah, daily wisdom with unlimited wisdom. There we go.
Take two.
Thank you very much for showing up, family, and the community. Hi, Shelly. Hi, Melody. Hi, Deborah. Coach Bob, and of course Matthew, and my lovely wife Terry, in the back, and then of course the hostess with the mostest, Craig Jackman. So in today's daily wisdom, I got nothing. Anybody got a subject? I was like, I did an interview. I did a couple of interviews this morning before this daily wisdom. And so I just like, well, what do I need to talk about? So, hi, Lisa Marie. Hi, Michael and Angela. Hi, Jim. So, who has a subject they would like me to talk about for daily wisdom today?
Go ahead and raise your hand or post it in the chat.
Ooh, that's a good
Oh,
one. Deadlines, huh?
deadlines. Yeah, I just saw that one.
Feeling that.
Whoa. Oh, that's a good one, Coach Bob. Let's do that one. So thank you, Coach Bob, for the daily wisdom. How to deal, okay? How to deal with deadlines. I think this is a great subject because the very first thing we understand is, again, how strong the mind is. And while you're in certain mindsets, how defeating you are against yourself. You know, there's a phrase out there that I first thought of when Coach Bob said deadlines, and my first thing was FOMO, fear of missing out. Because what we do sometimes is we really, 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 you know, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but the definition of worrying, when you worry, is you're basically I've heard it said all kinds of different ways, but when you focus on worrying, you're like actually praying to the Darth Vader side. You know what I mean? So instead of being positive and thinking about ways to get through it, you're focusing on the other negative part. So having deadlines is not a problem. Again, there's a certain group of people, hi Scott, hi Dustin, hi Sandy, is that some people really don't do anything until they have a deadline. I resemble that remark very, very, very well. It's like, I always tell people you're sort of beat yourself up because you don't get things accomplished. But if you ever look back at your life and you see your back against the wall, the analogy I use all the time is taking a test. They tell us in school that we got 3 months, a whole quarter, and then we end up taking a test, right, to pass the course. And so we always hear the teacher basically say, or the professor or whatever, is don't forget the test is on Monday. And we all go, this Monday? when when we already knew, right? We already knew that there was going to be a test, but now it's time for us to, for some of us, is to get a liter of Mountain Dew and put our heads down, call some friends, and knock it out. And it is pretty interesting that you can compress it all into that area. So one of the things I would say to everyone that's doing deadlines for yourself is really ask you, is it a time that you worked up for yourself? Right? So then if you're saying that, well, I want this done by this amount of time, is it something that you're manufacturing on your own? Or is that really, really the deadline? Because I know that me personally, I put myself, hi, Mary, thanks for jumping on. I put myself under pressure with deadlines, and they were man made. Me making them. And so then when you realize you put yourself under that much pressure, then again, ask yourself, do you perform well under pressure? Do you perform well under pressure? If you do, then it's really it's okay for you to make them for yourself, right? But what if the deadlines are made that somebody else put there. It's like, hey, listen, you better get this done because it's the end of the month. And now what you do is you get into that pressure situation. And what's always blown me away about that kind of pressure is that it's totally uncontrollable, like going after a rank advance or something, because you need other people to participate in you hitting that goal, you hitting that deadline, and having other people, pardon my language, get their shit together to so you can all hit a deadline sometime. When you're relying on other people, you're probably going to get disappointed a lot of the times, because that's just the way it is. But the key thing that I would say to deadlines is the same kind of phrase with um, eating an elephant. How you eat an elephant is one bite at a time. And here's another thing that I would throw at you that will really, really help you with deadlines. Ask yourself, what's the hardest thing that needs to be done? What is the hardest thing that needs to be done? And go with intent and get that thing done first. Because if you get that thing done first, then your mind will immediately go, well, the rest of this is easy. And then you'll usually, do okay with your deadlines. Um, we normally don't do this on Daily Wisdom, but I feel we could do it here. Is when I think about anything else that might have to do with the deadline. I if you have any questions about that, Coach Bob, since you brought it up, or you just came off the top of your head and that's what you put.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
you
I think
froze.
everyone goes through that problem. They wait till the last second to get things done. I was chatting with Matt a little bit, and I know he has June 1st, and that's why, but and he's got all these other things, onboarding people and this and that. And now he's like focused on getting
Right.
this done, right? And then that's why this brought to my attention. But as a kid, I would wait till the last second to get homework done, and it wasn't as good as what I could have done if I would have did it before, right?
But
But
you did it.
yeah, it got
Yeah,
done,
yeah.
right? Yeah, not maybe where I wanted to, and I think everyone goes through that. And why do people wait, thinking that they can get this done? And this is not mad or anything, but
We're definitely humans, and we're constantly running against that thing in our mind that's, the path of least resistance. I don't know if you guys remember this. You remember there used to be these companies that would put together all these motivational posters and quotes, stuff. And I'll never forget, there was a whole company, not in existence probably anymore, but it was always these people that did the exact opposite. So the procrastination poster would be, when you're intelligent enough to put something off that didn't need to be done today, you're a master. But I probably, just using my stuff. But one of the things, Bob, too, I would say is that I really, really appreciate you reaching out to me and your concerns about Matt not burning himself out. The last thing we need Matthew doing right now is taking what he loves and he enjoys and getting to hate it. You know what I mean? So, the one thing that I would say to Matt, regardless if we said June 1st or it ends up being June 6th or something else, is like, listen, when it's ready, it's ready.
right,
Yeah, when it's ready, it's ready. So, I think Matt, you could add to that too. It's like if you're putting too much pressure on yourself to launch it on a certain date, you go for that date, and then what you do is you go, hey, all right, so it's not going to be that date.
No, I mean, like everybody does stuff differently, right? So like, when you make a film or when you make a video game or when you make anything that takes a lot of energy and effort, 80% of the work is in fixing the bugs in the last few weeks before you
Got it.
launch it. So nothing that I'm doing here is abnormal, right? It's just I'm the only person that can do it. So like
Hmm.
if I'm sitting on an onboarding with a bunch of people for 6 hours, that's also 6 hours I'm not working on it. You see what I'm saying? So there's this balance that has to happen. And believe it or not, like posting pilot is not the only thing I'm doing. I'm also
Right.
doing 3 or 4 other things. Like I got Fuel Factor X up and running. I've got obviously AI upline and all of that stuff going with Josh. There's more stuff developing over there. I've got this whole other thing that I'm building out called Signal Health to push GLP stuff and create a platform where like you can scan your supplements and do all those things, and AI helps you figure out what to take while promoting the stuff that I wanted to. So there's a lot of different things that I've been working on, but the work keeps me young and it keeps me excited. It's just more like uh, I as far as deadlines go, I really like deadlines because I'm a perfectionist. So what I tend to do is like work on something for as long as I possibly can. So like a deadline only means that I get a version 1 out faster,
Right. Right.
right? And so for me, like I was sharing, it's just part of the process. Like we call it crunch. Everybody in that industry, even if you went to the Googles and the Apples and everything, crunch is very normal in these situations because it's very easy to like build something. But once 1,000, 2,000 people start using, or even a couple hundred, all of a sudden you start to realize, okay, there was this wall that didn't exactly work, and they could skip this level, or they could do this or that, or they ran 3 C-Dance videos and cost me $5, but it didn't deduct any credits. And so it's like, okay, well, I got to make sure every single element of that works. And normally, this takes a team of a whole company, a team of people to do. So like I'm the bottleneck, so I'm trying to figure out the best to get the best out of it. But
Yeah.
the deadline doesn't matter to me as much. If I miss a deadline, I don't care. Like I really don't. I don't let it stress me out. I don't let it freak me out. I just set a deadline and then try my best
Yeah.
to hit it. But it doesn't matter to me if I miss it or not, because it's more about the quality of what I'm coming out with than it is the date that it comes out. How do I
Totally
know
agree.
that? It's just every single thing that I love and enjoy worked that way.
Yep.
I'm still Grand Theft Auto 6 has been in development forever. And I know anyone that knows about it is laughing about it. It's supposed to come out this fall. We'll see. It's been delayed 4 times. So, and every delay happens the week or 2 weeks before it comes out. So it's like they're making a decision right on the last thing. People are already excited. They're getting their chairs ready to wait, doing all that crap, right? And then they're going, nope, we changed our mind. We want to work on it for another year. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And they can do that because they have the ability to. I'm in a financial position now where I can work on this and I don't have to release it immediately, but I'm going to try to get it out because I actually, believe it or not, have another project that I want to work on that's bigger than posting pilot. And I need to finish posting pilot to move to it.
Really
So
cool.
that's really the excitement, or the deadline is more about me wanting to move past it. And she can attest to this. I walk downstairs all the time and I'm like, God damn it. Like, I hate that I have to spend a whole nother day working on this. Like, I'm so excited to work on what I got next, right?
Awesome.
And that next thing is for me, right? It's not
Good.
a product. It's a film. So I'm looking forward to it. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, thanks for filling us in because we all know how uniquely different we are. And so
Hmm.
I think that sometimes people see how hard you're working, Matt, and we all just love and
Yeah.
appreciate you. We, we,
Yeah.
Bob is always coming from, and a couple other people are always coming from. We gotta be very conscious of Matt's, sanity.
Well,
I
yeah,
was
I
gonna
know
make
how it
a joke,
is.
Dad, and I was gonna say that went
Yeah.
away a long time ago. So like I haven't had my sanity since I was 15. So like I know that I'm wired in a weird and different way. I know that if I wasn't doing this, I would be doing something else.
Yeah.
Right.
Rest is not something that I enjoy doing. So it's like I've accepted that maybe I'm cut from that cloth. That if I didn't have a bit, if Posting Pilot was finished, I would be working on something else right now.
Yeah, I think there's
So
some kind of there's some kind of quote behind that about idle minds. Do you guys, and is it popping to any of you guys that,
yeah, I kind of remember it. It's like idle minds make
oh wow, listen to this. Idle minds are the devil's workshop. I
mhm.
would have never, I would never have pulled that out, but idle minds is the devil's playground. But it is pretty interesting that when you have nothing to think about, how many positive things come out of that. I'd rather be, I'd rather be focused and creating something and building something. I think from the time that the kids were young, they would ask me, what are you doing today, Dad? And I'd say building the empire. It's like, well, does the empire ever get finished? No, no, it doesn't. And then we also got the whole concept. I know that some of the females will get mad at me for this, but I always said that that the reason that I'm successful is because I'm married to an incredible woman that always needs more money. It's like, well, we have this, and Terry's response is, yeah, but we could have more. You know what I mean? And that's true. That is, I've never, when she said that she's needed, that she would like, she's never said needed, but when she says I would like more, I've never looked at her and went, nah, we don't need any more. I've never. So it's like we could add another a couple of rooms to the castle and the empire, and it's like, okay, let me get working on that. So
Yeah,
thanks,
it's
Bob.
yeah, it's funny how people, some people won't give deadlines. A lot of companies, they won't give deadlines on stuff. They'll just say, "Oh, it's coming." Um, a lot of MLL companies, do that, Robert. And at least Matt's in charge of it, and he put that deadline out there, not
Yeah.
someone else, right? So
I think one of the things that, man, has been I don't know, it's not my pet peeve because I'm going to tell you how I ended up learning how to deal with it. But it's like I've been a part of a lot of companies, just not MLM companies, that constantly were telling me they were going to come out with a new product or products, and they would say by next convention, right, or whatever it was, and then they didn't. You know what I mean? So I always had this thing where, uh, the company that we all were a part of before, uh, Josh would consistently reach out to me all the time, and he says, "I don't see anywhere that you're posting anything about the new product coming out." And I'm going like, I said, when people actually get it shipped to their home and it's in the back office and people are getting paid on it, I'll promote it. So not that I'm being like negative or a naysayer, but I just got to the point that companies did it so often that I'm going like, you guys get excited about it. I'm not going to jack my team up. So then I have to explain to it was like one company that I was with, ACN. It was just, oh my God, they were just the worst at it. They just never ever launched anything. I was going to say with Matt, when Matt was talking, and he talked about video games and stuff like this that are always moving the deadlines. I mean, if the person that comes to mind that like mastered that, in my opinion, was Elon Musk. It's like no matter what date he came out with of what was going to happen, it's like it just wasn't going to happen. I know people personally that put a down payment on the Tesla Roadster. They just never made it. So I don't know if they finally got their money back or whatever. I bet you there were people that had personal orders for Tesla X's and Tesla S's when he made the announcement that he's shutting the plants down. It's like, hey, it's like if I got a bunch of people that don't like me, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we had issues with that too in engineering because project managers would come up with these incredible deadlines that we could never meet. And we'd always
Wow.
be late, right? So, but they didn't know any better because they didn't know what went
Yeah,
into,
the marketers,
engineering an engine.
the marketers and the bean counters and the owner of the company is like I've heard people that have had corporate jobs that said that the first time they heard about something that was coming out was at the convention, and they're the ones that are supposed to be making it. It's like, hey, did we launch a new division? No, that's coming out of your division. Awesome, Coach
Yeah.
Bob. Thank you for bringing that
Thanks
up.
so much. Yep. And
You
good luck,
bet.
Matt. You got this.
So, anybody else got anything to say? It's like I've been getting a lot of feedback from yesterday's daily wisdom. So, um, thank you very much for all the nice comments and stuff. Well, if we don't have anything, I'll just let you guys go and you can really enjoy the rest of the day. And let's let Craig do his cool announcements and everything. So thank you, Arthur, Mary, Dustin, Deborah, Bronner, Shelley, Melody, Lisa Marie, Sarah, Deborah Grady, Sandy, Michael and Angela, Coach Bob, my love Terry. Matt used to be there, so we'll say, Matt in distance. And hostess with the most is Craig. So fill us in and we'll go.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you so much, Robert. And Coach Bob, Matt, also, thank you. Great participation today. Just a reminder, tomorrow, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, are breakthroughs. That's where you get to join us. We're going to help you get through that little barrier that's blocking you from moving on to the next level. So that's Thursday. Friday, of course, along with Tuesdays and Wednesdays like today, Daily Wisdom, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Saturday, Ask Us Anything, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Sunday, Master's Mind, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. And Monday, we start the week with just getting together and chatting, and we call it Recess. 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. So that's our week. If you missed any of that, go ahead and go to the calendar section in Unlimited Wisdom. Everything is there. We got something going every single day of the week that you can participate in. So, with that being said, I don't know, there's maybe one or two things in the chat. If you want to save the chat, click the meeting chat, the 3 dots in the meeting chat, then click Save Chat after it, and it will download to your computer. So, until next time, everyone, please be good to yourselves, be cash, and until next time, bye for now. I'm going to go ahead and unmute so we can all say so long.
Love you guys.
Hi, thank you.
Love you. Have a
Thanks so
great day.
much.
Terry,
Safe
did you get some
travels,
gummies?
Terry.
Yeah, safe travels,
Did you get
Terry.
some new
Robert
gummies,
wants you
Terry?
home.
God bless you. Thank you.
There it is.
He's happy. Yay.